Our next speaker is Antonio Mugica. He is the founder and CEO of Smartmatic Group, the world's largest elections technology company. He is an electrical engineer by training, and he will be speaking to you all today to discuss the future of elections and election security. Let's welcome Antonio to the stage.
Well, thank you very much to the Pacific Council for this invitation. I'm going to talk to you today about the future of voting, which is intimately related to the future of democracy. In 1922, American sociologist William Ogburn coined the term culture lag, where society is slow to catch up with technological innovation. Shamefully, nowhere is this more obvious than when it comes to election technology. A report by the Brennan Center stated that in the election in 2018, 41 states in the United States used voting technology that was more than 10 years old. In addition, the Associated Press recently published data that showed that most election jurisdictions in the country are using Windows 7, which was released in 2009. Can you imagine using a phone today from 2009? This failure to keep up with technology has led to a lot of confusion and a lot of criticism when it comes to election technology. So much so that some people are even calling for a return to hand-marked paper ballots. That is so wrong. Guaranteeing data integrity with paper ballots is basically impossible. An additional problem comes with paper ballots and voter intent. I'm sure we all here remember the Bush versus Gore election and the famous hanging Chad fiasco. Those were hand-marked paper ballots. When you use a touchscreen to vote, you are forced to make a distinct choice, making sure that voter intent is crystal clear. Elections, and especially secure elections, require highly complex systems designed around data integrity. We must not be afraid to draw upon the last research that has become available over the several years and up until today when it comes to data integrity. We must not be afraid to use the best methods and the best technologies. And even further, we should not be afraid to innovate. Let's be clear. When it comes to elections, digital technologies today offer more security and more reliability than anything that has come before, and especially more than paper ballots. Usually critics of election technology are self-appointed election security experts that have had zero experience in dealing with the real challenges that paper ballots create. Their recommendations, many times misguided, stem from a complete lack of knowledge of what it takes to run an election, how to enfranchise voters, how to give them accessible vote, how to make it private, how to make sure that every vote counts. Their criticism of current election systems is usually compared against perfection, instead of comparing it to the alternative systems that have proven time and again to be vulnerable and extremely unreliable. Every case of voter fraud that has been documented has been linked to paper-based elections. From voting to counting to tallying and everything in between, human error and tampering is extremely easy and very common. The weakest type of election is an election that doesn't use technology at any step of the way. We at Smartmatic have been partnering and working hand in hand with election officials across the world, with poll workers, and even with voters themselves. All of them which are very pro-technology, by the way, because they know the real challenges. We're very proud to share that our systems have recorded and counted 4.6 billion votes in 5 continents. Not one of those votes has ever been lost, nor have we ever had one security breach. And we're absolutely sure about this because every one of our elections has been monitored and audited. Different countries have different challenges when it comes to their elections. Here in the US, we had a good start about 15 years ago, but now we're lagging. And we're failing to take advantage of the latest cybersecurity advances. We're even failing to take advantage of things like voter-verified paper audit trails, which we introduced back in 2004. Now, there are some bright spots. And actually, you here should be very proud of it because one of the best examples of what is becoming now the future of elections in the United States is here in LA County. Under the visionary leadership of LA County Registrar Dean Logan, you have deployed a completely new system that was just trialed this past weekend. I hope you saw it in the news. There was a first mock election. It was extremely successful. And we believe that technology like this, which is state of the art, will point the way for the rest of the nation. Actually, LA is making this system available as an open source system to the entire country, starting the beginning of next year. Now, if we want to go even further into the future, we should probably take a quick trip to Estonia. Estonia, as you all know, is a tiny nation, borders with Russia, just 100 miles from St. Petersburg. 30 years ago, they were a poor nation. Today, they are the #1 digital nation in the world. Now, it was not an easy path. Back in 2007, the Russian state launched a cyber warfare attack on Estonia, and it brought down the entire financial sector, the government, and the media. Now, what did Estonia do? Well, of course, they did not revert the entire financial system to pen and paper. They doubled down on technology. They created the Cooperative Cyber Defense Center for Excellence, which is a multinational funded think tank to train civilian and military personnel on cybersecurity. As part of that effort, they made voting available online. Estonia is the one country in the world where any voter can choose to go to a poll station and cast their vote, or they can cast their vote from the comfort of their own homes over the internet. They have been doing this for more than 10 years. In the last election, half of Estonians voted from home. They have never been hacked. We know because we partnered with them to build this system. So let me be clear about one thing. The security and the reliability that digital technologies offer today for voting are better than anything that has come before, and especially better than hand-marked paper ballots. So let me leave you with one additional message. In the 21st century, technology is advancing at breakneck speed. We know that entire populations are demanding to be more empowered, to be more connected, to have their voices heard. Millennials, Generation Z, are technology natives, and they're becoming more and more important in the political process. So we must all work together to make sure that people are empowered, that they have accessible elections, and they have their fair share of voice. In the 21st century, voting will require a lot more technology, not less. Thank you very much.